Are we doing the right thing?
Welcome back to GameVault HQ. Imagine being stuck in a place where the end of the world is almost here, and all you can do is wait. That's the premise of While We Wait Here, a game that turns our deepest anxieties into a poignant experience. This one doesn't come with an action-packed hero or epic battles, but instead with questions that linger. Let's dive right into why this game might just leave a mark on you. While We Wait Here is set in a diner where the world outside is about to collapse. You find yourself with a handful of strangers, just waiting for the inevitable. There's no escape, no miracle rescue. Instead, you get to interact, talk, and bond with other characters as the minutes tick away. The game's simplicity is striking. This isn't a title trying to impress with over-the-top visuals or fancy mechanics. It wants you to connect on a human level. One of the most compelling aspects of While We Wait Here is its atmosphere. The visuals are modest yet effective. They contribute to that sense of anxiety, a quiet, soft tension that keeps building up. Think of the old retro diners you see in movies, but now imagine that every shadow carries a bit of the world's impending doom. The game perfectly uses sound design to create the mood. The subtle buzz of lights, the murmurs of distant conversations, and the quiet ambiance work together, making the experience feel hauntingly real. Gameplay here is pretty basic. It's more of a narrative-driven experience. Your primary interactions revolve around talking with other characters, taking orders, cooking food, and making small decisions that impact those conversations. It's the simplicity that sells the game. You don't need complex puzzles or hidden challenges. Instead, you're faced with choices that seem small, but carry the weight of someone else's fears and stories. The game features multiple endings based on the choices players make, which adds a layer of replayability and makes each playthrough unique. The real magic in While We Wait Here lies in its writing. Every character has a story, a reason they're in the diner, and a way they deal with the end. Some cope with humor, others with resignation, and a few still hold on to hope. The game challenges players to reflect on their own thoughts about mortality, human connection, and purpose. It's not easy to make a game that's purely about dialogue this engaging, but here it works, partly because of how well-rounded and genuine the other characters feel. The developers did a fantastic job making each dialogue count. There's a lot of weight in the silences, in the things left unsaid, and even in the glances shared across the diner. That's where the game truly shines. Each choice you make doesn't alter the final outcome. The world is still ending, but it changes how the characters respond to their fate. And that's the point. It's about making the wait count. From a gameplay perspective, those who need fast action, intense combat, or challenging puzzles won't find it here. But if you appreciate storytelling and the exploration of human emotion, While We Wait Here does a phenomenal job. It's slow, deliberate, and yes, sometimes uncomfortable, but that's because it makes you think about your own fears, your regrets, and even your hopes. One thing that might deter some players is that the game's pacing can feel quite slow. It's intentional, of course, but this isn't a title you jump into looking for instant gratification. The entire game revolves around sitting, waiting, and connecting, and for some players, the lack of a traditional challenge might feel off-putting. However, if you're in the mood for a game that makes you reflect, this pacing feels just right. In terms of visuals, the game's style won't blow you away with high-fidelity graphics, but that's not really the point. The muted colors, the dimly lit diner, and the simple character models work to create an atmosphere that feels grounded and a bit desolate. There's a retro aesthetic to everything that complements the story's themes perfectly. The developers clearly understood that less can be more, and they've leaned into that approach. It's also worth mentioning the emotional weight this game carries. There's a rawness to the stories that's often missing from larger titles. Each conversation feels like it matters. You start caring about these strangers, about what happens to them in these final moments. This game doesn't spoon-feed you answers, and that's its strength. It leaves room for your interpretation, for your thoughts to fill in the gaps. Not everyone will find this comfortable, but that's where the magic lies. The end doesn't surprise you. It's something you know is coming from the very beginning. Yet when it happens, there's still that gut punch, that sudden realization of finality. Games often give us power, tools to save the day or at least make a difference. Here, you don't get that luxury. Instead, it's about coming to terms with what's out of your hands, which is a refreshing, if heartbreaking, shift from the norm. While We Wait Here isn't a game for everyone, but for those who love narrative experiences that linger in the back of your mind, it's a standout. It's a meditation on time, choice, and human connection, and it's done in a way that sticks with you. It's brief but impactful, the kind of game you think about long after the credits roll. We give While We Wait Here an 8.5 out of 10. It's thought-provoking, emotional, and unlike anything else you're likely to play this year. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but for those willing to dive in, it's an experience that's well worth the time. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Let us know in the comments, what would you do if you knew the world was ending? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.